interesting when you talk about mass media and journalists and so, because in Denmark we have this newspaper called Politiken, and the chief editor there is called Thyre Seidenfaden, and he's a Bilderberger, and he's a member of Trilateral Commission, and he's also, you can say, I call him Nazi-Zionist. He doesn't use a mobile phone. And you know, when he said it in a speech, I just said, he doesn't use a mobile phone, and he's a member of Bilderberg and Trilateral Commission, and he's a chief editor. A chief editor must be on the mobile phone 24 hours a day, because there's so much going on in the world right now. Then
he knows.
He knows, exactly. And they don't write about it, of course.
No, because they're not allowed to.
Yeah.
He would all of a sudden have a stroke or a heart attack or get a fulminant cancer. That's how they operate.
But how come, you know, when we talk about all this, they are talking, oh, is it dangerous or is it not dangerous? And all these things, they keep the scientists from there and there, they keep struggling, and they make reports, thousands of reports, and you know, there's so much science out there, so actually if we wanted to get rid of it, there's enough to forbid it all over the world. So much science is already. But the DNA is being damaged, and that has been proven several times. How come no one in the system really says, excuse me, this is the foundation of life, or this the how do you say, antennas, or what do you add? Or they talk about 2 antennas, we talk perhaps about 12. But how come when we're talking about the basis of what we normally say is the basis of life, and no one reacts? The DNA.
Well, I think those that know that it's going to be destroyed and is being destroyed all the time, those that know, they are not allowed to talk. They are in the scientific field, and that is of course the best of it in the military. They can't talk about it. That's why we don't know. And masses do not know anything that it is not in the evening news or in the newspapers. How could they? So it's not the fault of the masses, but it's the fault of those who control the masses. Yeah. And they don't want any information out. But I think that's going to change. Whatever catastrophes happen, even if they are with big earthquakes, so elite of course has their underground bases in all countries. And even I, in my position, I know where I was when I was in office, where I would go in an underground base. I had my bed there, and there was a telephone, there was a table. So they are all prepared, and about 60% of people only get, if there would be a war or something physically, they have a place to go to when attacks come. The rest is calculated to go away, I mean to leave their bodies. So that's going to be a big upheaval. But the elite plans that they can go to the underground bases and they will be okay. Or they can take a trip to Mars maybe. I mean, the information that we get about space exploration is totally wrong. Yeah. We don't know in how in our solar system there's life on all the planets. We don't know because it's denied. And they say, oh, you can't, for instance, live in Venus because there's up to 500 Celsius. It's too hot. Well, they don't say that you can live underground. And so we always say that our frames, we need oxygen, we need water, and somebody doesn't have it there. Well, it's not our frames' need of oxygen or water that decides how the human beings or intelligence and life in the universe, how it develops. There are beings that don't need oxygen. There are beings that don't need water. But there's one thing in the whole world which everybody needs, and that is light. Nobody can live without light, because we are ourselves light. And our light being, of course, becomes part of the universal light. So we are all one in the light being. But, these are very hard things to understand for people who are in the zombified state and who just go to work and look at television and read the newspaper and go to bed.
But talking about, underground bases, and also in Norway there's been a lot going on. I sense in a way that if you go underground, you don't come up again. And I sense I stay on top of ground and face sun or whatever is coming. And if it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. Otherwise, portals are open for the ones who stay pure and who stay true. And because you know it's so perverted. Yeah, okay, if you go underground, you just have to have the chip, because we need to make sure that we know who's underground. You know, I see it all as it's their fear game, and they're talking about a planet coming that will destroy everything, and then I say, I just believe in some other intelligent forces in this universe, and not the ones creating all this fear-mongering on the internet, or, yeah.
But I also think that we cannot think that somebody else is coming to save us, because what we have created, we have to save. So we can't expect somebody to, you know, clean up for us.
No.
And if it's true what I have read about the U.S. underground cities, 133 of them, and how they transport people, it is they are in the air a little bit. They don't have they have trains, but the trains are slightly
Magnetic,
on the electromagnetic
yeah.
and they go faster than planes.
Yeah.
From coast to coast,
Yeah.
and they have lakes there, and they have parks there, and you know you can live your life there. Majority of the people know nothing about it, because of course again that is asylums quote for the military and for the top people of the country. But like it was mentioned, they have these underground bases in every single country in the Western world anyway. But it could be that their plans will not succeed. It could be that what they think is going to happen and what they can do, there are higher forces in the universe anyway, which don't directly have to interfere. But if we are a danger to other planets in our solar system, which seems to be that we will be, then they interfere to see that this little tiny planet Earth does not interfere with the life in the universe, and especially in this solar system.
And when we turn up the love, and we make more people, you know, reconnect to the oneness that they really true are one, then we can actually melt down these underground bases or whatever. We can bring harmony back when we just open the right way.
Well, let's hope that way anyway. But when one thinks of the ET contacts, so like I mentioned, when you really meet a real, not American, Russian, whatever, man-made clones, which may look like ETs, but the real ones, you actually meet yourself in the future. That's something.
Yeah. And it's you're meeting a love that is bigger than you have ever experienced before.
That's right.
Yeah.